Hey, the Sabre Cafe conversion is faring well. Welcome to Hack a Week. FedEx came by, mailbag time. Oh boy. Hardware. What have we here? We have an MGO quarter fairing. Sweet. That's gonna work out pretty cool. MGO stuff's not too bad, but it's also not too good. The finish on the stuff, I mean, it's an $80 fairing shipped. You know, what do you want for that much money? And when you get looking at it, you can see there's a lot of flat spots. So I'll be doing a lot of sanding on this before it's got its final paint job. But you know what? For now, good to go. But man, it's pretty lumpy. Somebody was telling me that on one of the forums, you will be doing the sand fill thing, and boy, that's for sure. This thing's really lumpy. It might look shiny on camera, but trust me, there's a lot of flat spots. But this is going to do the trick. Looks like I got to remount my turn signal lights elsewhere, probably externally, or do cutouts for them. Well, probably externally, I guess. So I'll have to redo that, but that's going to work out pretty good. I'll have to work towards getting that on there now. Here's a close-up of that MGO fairing I paid 80 bucks for. Just take a look at, pay attention like right here, this line. Watch how it just ripples as I move across the thing. There are so many like flaws and bumps and lumps in this thing. It's a really lumpy bastard. It's going to take a lot of filling and sanding to make it look decent. But of course that's with black paint, and my ideas on paint for this bike are basically red and orange, so it won't be so bad. But I do have some filling to do on this. This is the mounting point right here, that hole on the side. The mounting hardware that comes with this is pretty Spartan as well. A couple of big washers for the inboard side of this mount. This is what mounts on the headlight bucket, so this would go into the headlight bucket with this bolt right here and that nut and washer assembly. And then out here on this side is where these smaller screw head bolts go with those nuts and these washers. It's pretty basic stuff. You could easily upgrade this hardware kit quite a bit. Maybe get some nylocks instead of these plain Jane nuts, and maybe some lock washers instead. You know, there's quite a few things you could do to make it a much better set of hardware. Stainless steel would also be nice. But anyway, let's see what we can do about getting this thing mounted up and cut out for the instruments, because I'm going to have to do some cutting there, and I'm going to have to remount the signal lights. I've bent this bracket just a little bit. This was straight, so I bent it a little so that when it goes on here, it clears this part of the headlight, and then I bent this a little to go into the contour of the fairing. Don't expect these MGO fairings to just bolt right onto your bike without some fabrication and work. They take a little bit of finesse to get on there and get right. Let's see how this fits up here. There's the hole where it mounts, right where my finger is. And it almost makes it to there. It could go back a little further, but it is bumping into the instrument cluster up top here just a little bit. I put some tape on here because for now it protects the finish, and most importantly gives me something to draw a line on. And there's the line I'm going to cut. I'm just going to cut that out with a jigsaw, and then we'll try fitting it again. Focus on looking at the headlight this time and lining it up to that. Oh, that's good. I got plenty of clearance up top now. So when I put this where I want it, which is right about there, it doesn't line up with the holes that are here. So what I can do is drill my own new holes. These brackets are, you know, they're universal brackets. They're intended to just get you in the right position, sort of. And then you have to get a bit creative. Like I said, this is not an out of the box, throw it on the bike and motor down the road. You got to do a little creative thinking here. So let's see where we end up. Right about there. So if I duplicate a hole centered right about there on each one, I'll be good to go. I should be somewhere in the ballpark. That giant black washer is so frigging overkill, it's not funny. I really don't think I'm going to leave that on there, but anyway, for now, let's just go ahead and leave it alone. Get some stuff on the inboard side here. Alright, that's a good starting point. These things are a little weird to get lined up. The brackets aren't perfect. I know I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not a perfect slam it on there setup. You can use the lower tree as a guide to getting it level and straight. You know, like just look right here on your fork and right here and just make sure you get them even. And then there's also tweaking it this way and this way to make sure you get it right. And then there's left and right. You can do that by bending the brackets a bit. But that's a good preliminary spot to have it for now. And now I need to figure out where to put the front signal lights. Since I pulled those off to mount this up, got to come up with a location for those now. Okay, I think I've got a solution here. Where the bracket comes back for the fairing mount, I can just weld onto that existing bracket and add a piece that I can mount this light to and just tuck it inboard a little bit inset on the inside of the fairing on each side right there. All I need to do is add a piece to that bracket and mount them up. There we go. After a quick bit of grinding, 2 brackets ready to mount back up. Probably get a little black paint on these before I put them back on so they don't rust. We'll get back on the fairing in a minute, but I wanted to show you something here. I did a little work on the tank earlier, laid up some glass. I wanted to show you that you can cut away a lot of the fiberglass. Like, see this strip right along here? It's still green. Green meaning it's not fully cured yet. It's at that stage where it's a little bit flexible. If you take a good razor knife, you can trim really close to the surface. With a razor knife, save yourself a lot of sanding and a lot of dust and a lot of itchy fiberglass floating around in the air that gets on you and makes you uncomfortable later. You can do it all right now while it's green. Just be real careful you don't cut your green self. Trick is a really good sharp razor. This is one of those little breakaway blade knives. Alright, I just saved myself a whole bunch of work later. I've got these all painted black now and ready to mount back on the headlight bucket, and I've got some 7/16 by 20 threads per inch bolts. I forgot about these till yesterday. They're stainless steel, and it's what's in the Lucas headlight. It's actually the threads that are in the side of the headlight already. So instead of having to put a nut on the other side, I can just use these bolts and run them right into the threads that are already there on the headlight. Before the headlight bucket goes together, we are going to test these signal lights and make sure they work okay. And indeed they do. Okay. I got some new hardware for the fairing to hold it on to the bracket. I got an Allen head bolt, just like what I used on the LED panel. So let's mount this up and see what we got. Not bad. Mounted up, new brackets for the lights. Just need to tighten things up, maybe make a couple minor adjustments on it, but it's pretty much there. Of course, I've got to pull it back off to paint it and everything, but I may just mount it all up for now and see how it looks, take it apart later and paint it. Okay, let's get that battery mount put together. I need to grind some of the paint off here where the battery's going to go, which is right across this area. So let's get rid of some paint. There we go, a little bit of black touch-up paint, and it's ready for a battery. Late night tonight, but I got a lot of stuff done. I got some fiberglassing done on the tank, and I got the fairing all mounted up, finally. Really took a lot of work to get that thing straight, but it's looking pretty good. The tank and seat are nearly done. I think I'm up to 5 layers on the top, 4 on the bottom, something like that. I lost count, but it's getting pretty thick. And the seat is done, just maybe a little more fiberglass like right along these edges here to help out. A couple places where I burned through into the foam. But the upper part and the sides, that's pretty much all done. I just need to do some finish sanding and start backfilling with a little bit of body filler. Got some more layers on the side of the tank now. You can see the line where the fiberglass goes. Right up along there. I left the middle open. I might do one more layer on that strip that you see that's blank. And every time I do this, I wrap it around underneath, just like a surfboard, as I've mentioned before, and that helps strengthen the edges. And I've already wrapped these edges right here one time with just a piece of probably 2-inch wide fiberglass cloth, just to reinforce the corners really well, because you know, corners get banged easier than the edges do, and they're more prone to cracking or anything like that in the event of something banging into it. So this will cure up now, and maybe put one more layer on, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna pour some stuff in there and melt some foam. Right now I've got a brake lever to clean up and repaint. I got a lot of rust on this. The rust got to it as it was parked outside. This bike, as I've mentioned before, was parked outside for quite a few years. So time to clean that up and get it painted. Got the shift lever here. It's going to get the same treatment, clean off the rust, give it a coat of nice silver paint, make it look good again, along with the adjusting rod. Well, it's been another good week of progress here on the Sabre Cafe conversion. Got the fairing on, got more glass on the tank. We're gonna melt the foam out next week, I promise, because the Bowl City Rumble is next Saturday. I've only got between now and then to get this thing done, up and running, out for a test drive, take it up to the local motorcycle shop up the street here, get it inspected, go down to DMV, get my license, all that jazz, drive it around some more, and then next Saturday hopefully make it to the Bull City Run. So we'll see if that all happens. Anyway, till next time, me. Yeah, that's right. I got a motorcycle riding cat.